Good morning, y'all. This is Dana from Financial Aid Compliance Solutions, and let's talk financial aid for college. This week, what a busy week it's been. I wanted to let everyone know that in preparation for your audits, um, one item I wanted to go over with y'all is regarding verification of non-filer. Um, I was reviewing a couple of files for some clients these past couple of days, and there was some guidance that came in the form of some direction from NASFA, and it was regarding obtaining the verification of non-filer confirmation letters from the IRS. And because of COVID, the IRS has downscaled their staff somewhat, so you cannot obtain the VNF confirmations by contacting the IRS via phone. Some of the clients that I've been reviewing files for, the statements that the students are providing to show that they've made good faith effort in obtaining their confirmation of non-filer letters from the IRS are indicating that they tried to contact the IRS via phone. And just a FYI that phone is not an option at this time. So they are recommending that if you are wanting to obtain the VNF confirmation, you need to submit via mail Form 4506-T to request the verification of non-filer. If during that time you are supposed to wait 10 full business days before you submit statements with regards to that you made a good faith effort in trying to obtain it, and that whether or not you had any income in 2018 for the 2020-2021 award year, or if you're processing the verifications currently in preparation for awarding of the 2021-2022 award year. That would be for 2019. So make sure that if your students are submitting the form 4506-T, that you are awaiting the applicable 10 days before you are submitting those statements, or getting the statements from the student, and also making sure that your statements are dated for 10 business days after the submission of the form, okay? And make sure, obviously, that you have the form in the file and that you can confirm via date, because the statement should be written and dated by both the student and also the school representative. Also, make sure that the school statement is on your letterhead and signed by a current representative that is working at the school. And make sure that these are wet signatures. Do not use electronic signatures on these statements. And so going forward, just make sure that if for some reason you have not received any verification of non-filer forms for your students, make sure that, again, you have those items in the file. If you don't have those items in the file, make sure you go back and take care of that, because you do not want that to be an audit finding. Also, make sure that if you have a situation where you have a student who may not have been married in 2018, but was married at the time of the FAFSA being completed, and let's say they had income earned from work but not enough income to be required to file a federal tax return, and their spouse had more than enough income to file a tax return and did file a 2018 tax return, make sure you're following the guidance in the current student aid handbook, which states that you must add the student's income earned from work to the spouse's AGI on their tax return. And The reason for that is due to how Social Security tax is calculated. And I confirmed that this week with the verification staff at the Department of Education. So just make sure that you have that understanding and that you are following that guideline again so that you don't end up with an audit finding. And just an overview for those of you that are new to the world of financial aid. Every year you have an annual audit. And typically the auditors will give you a list of files that they are planning on reviewing, and make sure that those files that you are pulling have everything you need in them for the audit so that there aren't any findings. If there are findings, you are able to get that corrected, whatever it is that they find, in order to be able to keep the money that was awarded on the file received and dispersed to the student. Because if for some reason the finding cannot be resolved, then the money will have to be returned to the Department of Education, and then you will be chasing the student to recoup the money that has been lost. So you want to just make sure that those files are buttoned up, and if you need any help with regards to what is required in your files, or you have any questions regarding this, that's what I do. So feel free to contact me directly. My email address is dasfinancialaidcompliance solutions.com. And if you want to just send me a DM message, go to my LinkedIn page. You can find me on LinkedIn under Dana Anderson. And you can also forward me messages directly there. Also, if you wanted to contact me via my Facebook page, by all means, go ahead and do that. It's under Dana Anderson Sharples, and you can DM me there as well. So going forward, every week I plan on providing you tips with what you need to have in your files with regards to preparation for audit. But coming up in January, I have a class that I will be offering to all financial aid professionals to be able to go through the files to make sure that you have everything you need. And again, if you're new to financial aid, this would be a good course for you to take. And it'll also give you some credits towards your continuing education as well. So look for those announcements that will be coming out in future. And again, it will be slated for January. I just don't have the date buttoned up quite yet, but I'm working on that. So going forward, what else happened this week? Most importantly, we need to take a minute to acknowledge the fact that Pearl Harbor Day, Remembrance Day, was on Monday, December 7th, and it has been 79 years since that fateful day occurred. And so it's very important that we need to remember that all of those individuals that were lost on that date, or that survived that date and have helped us through retaining the freedoms that we have today here in the United States and our outlying islands, that we just take in consideration and take a moment to remember those folks. Also, I wanted to remind everyone, this actually came out last week. It was, I believe, on Friday, that Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos had extended the deferment on the interest on the loans for direct loans to January 31st, 2021. That changed from the end of this month. So it was originally December 31st, 2021. That was what the CARES Act had extended it to. And now it's been extended even further to January 31st, 2021. Now keep in mind, this is an extension. We have no idea what's going to happen when the new administration comes on board. And as we all know, that's still being worked out. So I want you to contact your students, make sure that they understand that they do have this extension, but they need to also get themselves in set up for repayment if they're going into repayment status. And the main reason why you want to keep an eye on that is, again, you want to make sure that they don't go into default, because if they go into default and the loans are taken out in your institution, that will go against your default cohort default rate. And you don't want that to happen, because if you end up with a percentage that is too high, you end up that you're going to lose your eligibility for the Title IV program, and you don't want to do that. So make sure that all your students are aware of that. And again, if even when the deadline ends, you're going to want to make sure that they have a plan for repayment. If they are currently in school, then obviously you need to advise them that they need to make sure that if they have older loans, they need to make sure that they have filled out the in-school deferment forms necessary in order for them not to end up in repayment status or potential default status, because students don't realize that those loans are going into repayment status. So just again, keep in touch with your students with regards to that. Going forward, this up and coming week is typically the week that everybody is taking exams before the Christmas holiday break. And again, as we all know, everything's different this year. And so I just wanted to remind everybody that as far as with the exams and everything, things will be updated accordingly. But having said that, everybody's preparing for the Christmas holiday break, meaning that the updates may not be as numerous as they normally are during a time where we're not preparing for the holiday. Lastly, I wanted to also remind everyone that the federal student aid trading conference that was held last week also had made a major announcement to a new initiative that is being implemented, if you will, and it's called SFE, and that stands for Student Financial Empowerment. And that is something that all institutions are going to want to take a look at and also start implementing themselves to get students who are in ninth grade interested in looking forward to what they're going to do after they graduate high school. And so it's a good idea to review the initiative that is currently in the session section, and it was session number 24, and it's basically just giving you an overview of what the initiative is all about. And what is SFE? It's a Student Financial Empowerment, is a series of engagements with students, families, and educators that collectively support a student's ability and confidence to make financially informed decisions toward attaining financial well-being as an adult, regardless of career or educational journey. And it's important that we embrace this and help our students that are up and coming as adults, due to the fact that we need to do something about the student loan debt that we have here in the United States. As we all know, it's way out of control, and this is going to be one way that we're going to be able to help controlling it by educating and empowering our students. So this is something I am going to be focusing a lot on come 2020-21. And if y'all want to get on board with me to get the word out, I am more than happy to help everyone. In fact, I'm going to be holding several training seminars, strategy sessions that I can with all schools across the country, clients of mine, to get them to embrace and empower our students. So having said all that, I wish everyone a great weekend. This weekend, I was actually gearing up to watch the Ohio State Buckeye versus Michigan game, and as we know, that has been canceled due to COVID. So unfortunately, that has been canceled. However, I believe that as of today, the Army-Navy rivalry game is still occurring tomorrow at 3 p.m. So I'll be excited to watch that. And my husband used to work for the shipyard here in Kittery, Maine, and his father was in the Navy, and my father was in the Army. So we have a little bit of a friendly rivalry going on in the Anderson Sharples household this weekend as far as the Army-Navy game goes. And please, I hope that it still continues on and it doesn't get canceled like the Ohio State Michigan game did. But oh well, what are you going to do, right? So having said that, I hope everyone has a great weekend and are really getting into the holiday spirit. I know, again, things are different, but let's just try to make the best of it. We'll get through this. The vaccines are rolling out, and hopefully things will change sooner rather than later. But we're, as everybody says, we're all in this together. So let's just make the best of it. I will be back next week with the updates from the USDE. So I wish everybody a great week. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me at danderson@dasfinancialaidconsultingservices.com or DM me directly on my LinkedIn page or my Facebook page under Dana Anderson Sharples or Dana Anderson on LinkedIn. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care.